Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm American Dan, and this is Wings and Rex. On today's video, we are in Central Africa. I bought a Cessna 414 for FS Economy, and I bought it over in Africa, and I'm in the process of ferrying it back to the United States. It's quite an epic journey. FLNU to FNNG. It's 140 nautical miles total. It's basically a northeast heading. We are using Sayintentions ATC. We're going to check out what the difference is. The only flying I've done is in the United States, so we'll get a good preview of how things differ around the world. So let's go ahead and bring power on the airplane and get everything started. It's pretty much a direct flight. There's not really any waypoints out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm not even sure if this remote airport has an ATC. Not that I can find. They have a ground frequency of 121.9er. Alright, let's go ahead and get the engine started here. Prop area is clear. Beacons are on. We'll turn the taxi light on. Alright, we've got two good starts. Fuel levels are good. Temperatures are coming up. Let's see if ground can give us some weather. November 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. We request weather for 4th of February.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Unable to provide weather for specific dates. Current weather is available.
Please give me the current weather.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Winds 280 at 8 knots. Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Flight following approved to FNNG. Departure on 133.65. Squawk 4234.
Foxtrot November Golf. Departure on 13365. Squawking 4234 for Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Readback correct. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Harley, are you buckled up and ready to go?
You bet. I'm buckled up tighter than a pilot's wallet after a long flight. Let's get this show on the road.
You paid for the gas, right?
I hope you brought your wallet, because I only brought enough for a snack. But seriously, with 177 gallons left, we should be good for a while.
What kind of snacks are you buying, Harley?
Well, Dan, I was thinking about some peanuts and pretzels. You know, the classic pilot snacks. Just don't let the peanuts fly away.
Alright, let's go to tower. Hey Harley, what's the tower frequency?
The tower frequency for Luanda is 130.0.
Tower Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, holding short runway 05, ready for departure.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Contact tower on 130.0 for departure clearance.
I'm on 130. Oh, that's calm too. My bad. Lawanda Tower, Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, holding short runway 05, ready for departure.
Twin Cessna November 8, Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Luanda Tower, runway 23, winds 270 at 10, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff on runway 05 for 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Thank you. Fuel flow's good, temperatures are good, airspeed's alive. 50. 70. 80. 90. 95. A little bit of back pressure. We're airborne. Positive rate. Gears coming up.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, contact departure.
Over to departure for 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Thank you. Departure, Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, with you climbing through 1,300.
Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey, Luanda approach, radar contact. Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Luanda approach, contact Luanda control on 118.5.
18.5 for Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Approach, Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, with you climbing 3,200 for 5,500 VFR.
Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey, Luanda control. Good morning, Luanda QNH 1012.
Alright, heading bug is synced, course selecting needle is synced. We are leveling off at 55,000. We are at 2,400 RPMs with 27 inches of manifold pressure, with about 19 gallons a side burning.
Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey, Luanda control, contact Luanda, approach on 133.65.
Back to 13365 for 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Luanda approach, Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, level 5,500.
Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey, Luanda approach. Good morning. Twin Cessna November 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey, Luanda approach. Where are you headed?
November 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, destination Foxtrot, November Golf.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, good morning.
Hey Harley, we're at 27 inches of manifold pressure and 2600 RPMs. Is this a good setting for cruise flight?
For cruise flight in a Cessna, 27 inches of manifold pressure and 2600 RPM is generally a good setting. It should give you a nice balance of power and fuel efficiency. Just keep an eye on your fuel flow and make sure you're within the engine limits.
What are the engine limits for a Cessna 414?
The engine limits for a Cessna 414 typically include a maximum continuous RPM of 2,700 and a maximum manifold pressure of 30 inches of mercury. For takeoff, you can go up to 2,800 RPM for a short duration. Just remember to monitor your temperatures and pressures closely during operation.
Good to know. What do you think about flying over Africa, Harley?
Flying over Africa is a unique experience, Dan. The diverse landscapes and wildlife are breathtaking from above. Just remember, the weather can be unpredictable, so keep an eye on those storm cells. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
All right, Forrest Gump. Harley, what's your favorite airplane to fly?
Dan, that's a tough one. I'd have to say the Cessna 172. It's like the Swiss Army knife of airplanes, versatile, easy to handle, and great for teaching. Plus, you can never go wrong with a classic.
Harley, you flew fighter jets in Vietnam, right?
You bet. Flew some incredible machines back then. The adrenaline was something else, but flying this Cessna is a whole different kind of fun. Just remember, in a fighter jet, you can't just pull over for a coffee break.
Tell us about the area, Harley.
The area around Luanda is quite fascinating. It's a mix of urban development and natural beauty, with the Atlantic Ocean to the west and the vast African landscape surrounding it. The city itself is known for its rich history and vibrant culture, but be mindful of the airspace as it can get busy, especially near the airport. Keep an eye out for any potential wildlife hazards too.
Do you see any elephants down there?
Not sure about elephants, but I bet they can spot us from down there. Just keep your eyes on the instruments, Dan.
How many hours do you have in a Cessna 414, Harley?
I don't have any hours in a Cessna 414, but I can tell you it's a great aircraft for cross-country flying with its spacious cabin and good range. Just remember, it's all about managing that weight and balance.
Are you trying to say I'm fat?
Not at all, Dan. Just like our Cessna, we all have our own weight limits. But remember, it's all about balance in the cockpit and in life.
Let's go ahead and just give center a pie rep here. approach. We're still on with approach. Approach 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Good morning.
Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, I'd like to give a PIREP. We're just going to report light to moderate chop at our altitude of 5,500. Was one of the updates recently added to Sayintentions.
Twin Cessna Whiskey. Alpha Whiskey, Roger.
PIREPs.
Light to moderate chop. Reported at 5500 feet.
And if there were any PIREPs in the area, they would come back and give us relative information. They're also, ATC is also able to read the NOTAMs now, so once we get closer to our destination, we'll try that out. Unless maybe Harley can do it. Let's find out. Hey Harley, are there any NOTAMs for our destination?
I'm not sure about the NOTAMs for FNNG right now, but you can check them on the NOTAM service or through your flight planning software. It's always good to stay updated before landing.
Well, why can't you look it up? Harley, why can't you look up the NOTAMs?
I can't look up the notes because I'm just here to share my aviation wisdom and keep things light. But I can help you with any questions you have about flying or the aircraft.
So you're just freeloading for a ride?
Well, you know what they say, Dan. Flying is the second greatest thrill known to man. The first is landing.
Well, I think that's debatable. Low under control, 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, cancel radar services, we have the field in sight.
Twin Cessna Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Roger. Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved.
Squawking and talking VFR, frequency change approved for 8 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Thanks for the service. Good day. Gas, I was on the mains, fixtures are full, props are full, undercarriage is down. Full flaps. Windsock says it's a little bit of a crosswind. Nagage is uncontrolled as far as I know. Nagage, traffic, Twin Cessna 8 Whiskey, Alpha Whiskey will be exiting at the end of the runway, Nagage. Well, Harley, what'd you think of that landing?
That was a smooth landing, Dan. You really nailed the flare. Just remember, a little bit of power can help if you feel the sink rate increasing too much. Keep up the great work.
Let's find a parking spot. Alright, parking brake is set. Well, that concludes this flight. I hope you enjoyed the flight. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know when the next video in the adventure comes out. Please leave a comment below. I enjoy reading all of the comments. And as always, there is a link for Sayintentions in the description if you want to try out your own 24-hour free trial. Using the link in the description really does help the channel, so if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks for riding along. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day. See you next time.